Hello and welcome to my 11th video using Blender 2.6. Today I'm going to be talking about making parent-child links between different objects. So basically what that means is if I want to animate this snowman, if I want to actually make it kind of move around, wave its arms, and animate like a character, right now we can't do that very easily because the object is made of different objects. So every one of these snowman's parts is a different primitive mesh. I made this snowman out of just very simple primitive 3D shapes. So all the spheres are UV spheres in Blender. All the stick-like things like the arms and the hat are made out of cylinders, and the nose is a cone. So it's a very simple beginner snowman. But if I try to animate it, you'll notice that all of the objects are separate. So I can't animate it right now as an entire object or as one solid object. I don't want to make it a solid object though, because if it was all one solid object, I wouldn't be able to grab an arm, let's say, or grab the head and make his head turn a certain direction. If it was one big, large, single mesh, it wouldn't be very good to animate. But it isn't very good to animate right now. So making parent-child relationships is a way of solving that. How we create parent-child relationships is we'll need to select the children of an object first. And what I mean by children is all the kind of smaller objects that will kind of stick like glue to a larger or parent object. So with the head, all of the, or both of the eyes, the nose, and all of the mouth pieces will be children to the head. Likewise, the buttons and the arms will be children to this middle body piece. The hat will be a child of the head, and so forth. So eventually we want to be able to just grab the one object or one kind of master parent of the snowman, which in this case will make the bottom sphere, and we can grab that and we can animate the entire snowman. When you make a parent-child hierarchy, so you can have grandparents and parents and children and great-grandchildren, etc. You can still animate and move separately all of the children. Like I'd still be able to grab the arm and animate it kind of being an arm, waving, etc. But I can still grab the master parent or the grandparent or the great-grandparent and animate the entire thing. So let's get started. I'm going to quickly select an eye first. We're going to kind of glue all of the head pieces onto the head. So I'm going to select all of the head pieces. So I'm going to select the eye. Oops. And I'm going to hold shift, and I'm going to select all the other ones. So right-clicking to select all of the other pieces. Now, it's hard for me to tell right now kind of what I'm doing. So I'm going to press Z, and that goes into wireframe mode. So you can always press Z and Z to go back and forth between shaded view and wireframe view. And that's also accessible down here. This is our viewport shading, so we can change between solid and wireframe. And this makes it easier for me to tell exactly what I'm selecting. So I'm going to hold or right-click, or hold shift and right-click to get the rest of them. My computer's just being a little bit slow right now, as it usually is. So I'm just right-clicking with shift held down after I select the first one. So I have the children selected. I'm going to worry about the hat later. And now I'm going to right-click and shift the head. It's important that you do the parent last. And now I'm going to press Control P, and that brings up the parent window. And we're going to say Set Parent to Object. So you'll notice that when you make a parent, you get these dotted lines, and they come out from the origins of all the objects that you have as children to the origin of the parent. So in this case, all of the children have little lines coming from their origins to the origin of the head parent. I'm going to go back to my front view, and we're going to make the hat a parent. But the hat's going to be one piece. So we want to actually make it kind of a solid object. We don't want to make the top of the hat a child to the bottom, because we're never going to have to animate those. So we're just kind of going to permanently join those together. So I'm going to select the top first, and then the bottom one by holding shift and right-clicking. And I believe it's Control J. Yeah, Control J will actually join those two meshes. You'll see that now I can press A to deselect. My computer is being consistently slow these days. I'm going to right-click to select it, and you'll see that it's all one mesh. So it's not parent-childed with Control J, which stands for join, obviously, but it is one mesh. So now I have that hat all one mesh. I'm going to make it a child of the head as well. So I'm going to go back into wireframe mode, and I'm going to select or press A to deselect all. and select the head, then hold Shift and right click to select the head, and the head is going to be the parent, that's why I selected it last. And I'll press Control P and say select parent to object, or set parent to object rather. And you'll see now that there's a dashed line going from the origin of the hat to the origin of the head. So now, let's see what happens. If I grab the head, so I'm going to press A to deselect all, and right click on the head to grab it, or to select it. I'm going to press G to grab, and you'll notice that I'm not selecting all the eyes and the nose and the mouth and the hat, I'm just selecting the head and the other child pieces are following along. So, I'm going to undo that. Now let's make the arms children and the buttons children to the middle body piece. But first I'm going to make the fingers, because they're separate cylinders, children to the arm. So I'll press A to deselect all, select one, then hold Shift, and select the arm last, and I'll press Control P. And you'll see the lines coming off again. I'm going to press A and right click and then hold Shift and right click to select the remaining ones. Did that work? No, I'm going to do that again. Shift and then select and then Control P. And I'm going to do the buttons and both the arms, and then select the body last, or the middle body piece last, and press Control P. And now for the first time we actually have a grandparent, a parent, and children. Same thing with the other arm. The fingers are great-grandchildren, the fingers are children of the arm, and the arm are children, or are both children of the middle body piece. So now we can grab the middle body piece only, and I can move it, and the arms and the buttons will come along with it. I'll go back into solid view so you can see that better. Okay, undo. Now let's do them all together actually. So I'm going to make the head a child of the middle body piece. So I'll press A to deselect all, select the head, and then hold Shift and right click and select the body, and Control P. There we go. I don't want to select kind of a whole hierarchy at once. I don't want to select the middle body piece, and then the middle, and then the bottom ball all in one go, because you want to do it only kind of parent to child before you press Control P, and then do it again for the grandparent and parent. So now I'm going to select the middle body piece and the bottom ball and press Control P. If you mess up, so if you select the bottom body piece first and then the middle body piece and say Control P, it'll be in the reverse order. So now I can grab the middle body piece and it'll bring all the rest of them along, but the bottom body piece is now a parent. We wanted it to be the other way around, so I'm going to press Alt P, and Alt P removes all of the parents from whatever object that you have selected. So we're going to remove the parents from the bottom body piece, so Alt P and clear parent, that's what Alt P does. And now we'll do it the other way around. So I'm going to select the middle body piece, and then, which will be the child, and then the bottom body piece, and press Control P, and we'll set parent to object. So now, if I select just the bottom body piece, it is kind of at the top of the hierarchy. We've got all the body pieces kind of being parents of something. The middle body piece is the parent of the middle body piece. The middle body piece is parent of the head. The middle body piece is also parent of both the arms. The arms are parent to their own children. And the head is parent to all of the face objects and the hat. And of course, the middle body piece is parents to the buttons as well. So I should be able to just grab this bottom piece and move it so it all moves along. But now I can also grab, let's say, my head, and I can press R, and I can make him kind of tilt his hat. And if I was animating, I could animate him kind of doing a little jig. Or I could animate him rotating his head on only the Z axis, so I can press R and then Z to make him only rotate on the Z axis, to make him look around. And of course I can animate this, make different keyframes, a keyframe there, and a keyframe there. But there's one problem still, and this problem is that the arms, let's say, they will not rotate at the right spot. If I press R, like I want to make the snowman wave, the object is going to rotate on its origin, so that pink orangey dot is going to be where it rotates from. And we don't want that. We want it to rotate kind of right down there. So there's an easy way to fix this. I'm going to grab this arm, and move it away so I can see exactly on that object where I want it to rotate from. And now we're going to position our 3D cursor. So I'm going to position this 3D cursor exactly where I want the origin to go. So from the front view, I want it to go somewhere right about there. That's good enough. But I also want to make sure that it's good from another view, because I don't know how front or forward or back this is right now. So I'm going to press 7, and it's actually perfect. So now that I have this object selected, and the 3D cursor is in place, I'm going to go on into my tool shelf. And if you don't have the tool shelf up, you can press T. It'll come up. I'm going to select Origin, and then Origin to 3D Cursor. Remember, this is called our 3D Cursor. So Origin to 3D Cursor, and you'll see that orange dot snap to exactly where your 3D cursor is. So now, you'll notice that with that object selected, when you press R, it rotates from that spot. And when you move your object, it'll still rotate from that spot on the object. So I'll go ahead and move that back, and I'll rotate the arm again. I'll do the same thing with this one. I'm going to put my 3D cursor exactly where I want it to go. That's good enough for now. I'll look at it from the top. That's perfect. And select Origin, and Origin to 3D cursor. And there we go. We might also go ahead and fix the head, because the origin of the head is right in the middle of the head. I might want it exactly at the bottom, or near the bottom. So if I make him kind of tilt his head back and forth like he's doing a dance, then they'll rotate from the right spot. So I'll put the 3D cursor in the right spot. That looks pretty good. And select Origin, and Origin to the 3D cursor. And so now he'll rotate his head from the kind of base of the head where the neck would be if he weren't a snowman. One more time, I'm going to grab the middle body piece, put the 3D cursor right there. That looks pretty good to me. And press Origin, Origin and Origin to 3D cursor. And now the origin's down there, so that it'll rotate from that point. Maybe a little bit lower than that. Good. So now I'm going to save this. So File, Save. I already had it saved before, so I didn't bring up the dialog box. And now if I wanted to, I could make a timeline. And we can make him animated. So I'll press the red button, rotate him on the Z-axis, -9, 0. Oops, I'll do it the other way around. R, then Z, then 90 to make him rotate 9 degrees on the Z-axis, or Z-axis for your Americans. And with the keyframing button turned on, or the record button turned on, it's actually going to make a keyframe. So see that yellow line right there? That's a keyframe. So I'll go later in my timeline and move him to the other side, and now we have an animation. I can make him at some point during the animation maybe just turn him face his head towards us, so maybe halfway in between. I'm going to press R and then Z and make him kind of face us. But you'll see there's only one keyframe on the head, so we have to go back to the beginning and R and Z and make him face kind of the right way again at the beginning and at the very end as well. We're going to press R and Z and make him face that way. So now there's an animation of him, and he starts facing forward as he's going halfway across. Maybe we'll go back to that keyframe in the middle, or keyframe right in the middle there, and kind of give him a little bit of a jump, so he's going up. Alright, I'll turn keyframe insertion off and play the animation right there. Alright, I hope that helped and cleared some things up. In order for us to go into adding bones or an armature to a character mesh, it's important to understand parent and child linking between objects. And I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.